About a month ago, I set up a pretty interesting challenge. £100 a month invested into 4 different asset types. An index fund versus property versus gold, and of course, an individual stock pick. There it is. And the purpose of this was to answer a pretty simple question. Does index fund investing actually beat everything else? Well, we're 1 month in, and I must say, the results are already more interesting than I expected. Now, if you haven't watched my first video, of course, I recommend going back and watching that. Let me give you a quick recap and show you how things are set up. I've got a pot set up on Trading 212, split equally across 4 different asset types, 25% each. And every month, I'm putting in £100 split over the 4 investments. The Vanguard FTSE All-World Accumulation ETF, and that represents the index fund. The iShares Physical Gold ETC, which represents commodities. iShares UK Property UCITS ETF, which represents property. And finally, Alphabet, Google's parent company, representing individual stocks. And I started this on April 27th this year. Now we're 1 month in, so let's see where we stand. The overall portfolio, which is all 4 assets combined, is up, which you'd obviously take every single month. But that number only paints half the picture. When you break down asset by asset, things get a lot more interesting. So as tradition with these kind of videos, we're going to go from worst to best in terms of performance and talk through exactly why some have or haven't performed. In 4th place, we have iShares Physical Gold, currently down 4.02%. Now this may come as a bit of a surprise, especially if you look back and see how gold has performed over the past 12 months. So what's actually caused this pullback? Gold actually hit an all-time high back in January of this year, but since then, it's pulled back around 16% from that peak. The US dollar has strengthened over that period, and because gold is priced in dollars, a stronger dollar mechanically pushes the price of gold down. On top of that, the situation in the Middle East, that's pushed the price of oil above $100 a barrel. That in turn has fed through into higher inflation, which has basically killed all the expectation of rate cuts proposed in January. And here's the interesting thing. Traditionally, in times of volatility, sort of what we're going through right now, gold has been seen as a safe haven asset, somewhere you can put your cash, protect it from inflation, and maybe it'll slowly trend upwards. But at least over the last month, it's been the complete opposite. JP Morgan is still forecasting gold to hit $6,300 by the end of the year. So the long-term structural case for gold hasn't changed. But as of right now, it sits in last place. In 3rd place, we have the iShares UK Property UCITS ETF, currently down 0.12%. Now let me just put that number into context because it looks like it's essentially done nothing for a month. This one started the month trending downwards. Then from around the 18th of May, it started recovering. And when you look at what's currently going on in the UK property market, it sort of makes sense. It's a bit of a tug of war going on at the moment. On one hand, you've got all the geopolitical uncertainty, higher interest rates, higher energy costs, higher inflation. That may put off potential investors. On the other hand, rates have been trending downwards. Cheaper borrowing means a more active market, which could be appealing for investors. Maybe that to-in and fro-in is what we've seen in this month in a property ETF. In 2nd place, and this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone watching the channel, we have the Vanguard FTSE All-World Accumulation ETF, and it's currently up 5.79%. I mentioned when setting up this challenge that the fund asset will essentially act as the benchmark, and over the past month, it's performed great. There's nothing too deep to dive into here. The global markets have had a great time of late, and because this fund tracks the FTSE All-World Index, it's reflected here. Now, don't expect a near 6% return every month. That would be insane, but at the moment, I'm not complaining. That means in 1st place, with a return of 6.26%, is Alphabet, which is our stock pick. Now, such a sharp increase in a relatively short period of time is quite surprising, But when you look at what Alphabet is actually doing, it starts to make sense. In their Q1 2026 earnings, Alphabet reported revenue of 109 billion, up 22% year on year. And their earnings per share came in 94% above analysts' estimates. 94%, that's huge. And just another reminder why it's so hard to predict or even beat the market. And on top of that, at Google I/O just a few weeks ago, Alphabet unveiled Gemini 3.5, Gemini Omni, and a completely revamped AI search experience. Google Cloud is also flying with over 60% year-on-year revenue growth. So you can see why the company is excelling right now. They have fingers in multiple pies, a strong balance sheet, and as of right now, Google sits in pole position. So let's summarize where we are after the first month. In fourth, we have gold, down 4.02%. In third, property, down 0.12%. In second, the Vanguard fund, up 5.79%. And in first, Alphabet, up 6.26%. All I've got left to do now is add this month's contribution of £100, and we'll check back in 4 weeks' time. Let me know in the comments below if any of these results surprised you. Do you expect things to stay the same? Or do you think over the coming weeks, things may shake up? I'd appreciate you liking the video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the next update. And if you enjoyed this type of video, then perhaps check out this one here, where I invested £5 every single day into the stock market. And on that note, I'll catch you in the next one, guys.